Hello everybody, I'm Callum at Repair Wins, and I've got what should hopefully be a fairly quick project today. I was visiting a friend recently and he gave me his old computer motherboard. Now you might be wondering why he gave away an A320 board, given it has an AM4 socket, meaning it's compatible with, modern, decent, powerful processors. The reason is it got liquid damaged. The liquid in question was milk. Now luckily he, jumped down and ripped the power cord out, and basically the thing was taken apart, cleaned as best as they could clean it, put back together, and it did work, but ever since the damage it's been unstable. There's no guarantee this thing's going to work properly after I'm done cleaning it, but obviously there's a much better chance of the board working properly once it's been cleaned thoroughly and left to dry. But the first thing to do is to remove the BIOS battery. So it'll be in a holder like this one, somewhere on the board, usually near the PCIe slots. So it's held on with a clip, and what you do is you push the clip away, give it a go or two, and there you are, the battery pops out. So you can see what I mean. If you look at the side of the battery, it's just covered in, well, milk, isn't it? Not very nice. Obviously, you've already removed the processor, you've already removed the RAM and anything else that's plugged in. I hope you weren't hoping to wash the motherboard while there's stuff connected to it. A lot of people would say, right, that'll do, and they'd just stick it in the sink and wash it. But what I want to do is remove the heatsink that's covering the chipset, because you're not really going to do a good job of cleaning under there if it's still installed, and also it's never going to dry. So the way that you remove it, usually, is you've got these two spring kind of plastic posts, and you need to compress the bottom of the post, and then the post comes up. If I hold it like this, look, it's a lot more clear. You've got these two little pieces that need to be compressed inwards. I'm going to use a pair of wire cutters because it's what's immediately available. You ought to use a long pair of needle nose pliers or something. But I'm not compressing with enough force to cut the thing. I just want to, compress them slightly and then push this pin through the board. So give it a couple goes. There you are, and then you can push down on it, and now that one's free. So I'll spin the board around. Same way, you can do this with tweezers if you want. Just something that can squeeze both sides at once and then push down. That's all you've got to do. I should be able to free this cooler. So I'm going to sort of wiggle it from left to, well, I was going to wiggle it from left to right, but it's just come off. But we're in luck actually, because I don't know about you, but there's no evidence that liquid's gotten under here at all. It's completely free and clear, which is just what you want. Might be a tiny bit there, tiny little white fleck, but I really don't think liquid has managed to seep under there. So chances of saving this board should actually be pretty good. The easiest way to do this is just in this room. So I've cleared the desk and I've just put a basin in. You're literally going to use hot soapy water. I say hot, you don't want it to be boiling, but hot soapy water. I'm going to dump a bunch of cold in. I'm going to dump a bit more cold water in, and then I'm going to bring the kettle through and just keep adding hot water. And I want it to be not so hot that I can't touch it, but I do want it to be warm. Right, a little bit more and we'll be there. I'm just going to dump the rest in. 3 parts cold, 2 parts boiling, or maybe that's a bit too hot now. Nope, that's basically perfect. 3 parts cold, 2 parts hot. There you are. All we're going to do now, I wish it were that simple, just leave that in there, but no. What you want to do is just get the toothbrush and give the thing a really thorough scrub, basically. And I know some of you were no doubt cringing when you saw me do that, but trust me, there's nothing at all wrong with mixing water and electronics, provided they're powered off and provided you dry it thoroughly before you try and switch it back on. So I turn this thing at an angle just to make it easier, and then I'm going to spend the next few minutes scrubbing thoroughly the surface of the entire board with this hot soapy water, obviously with the aim of removing all of the residue that's left over. Now, I'm not scrubbing with a huge amount of force. I obviously want to clear what's on here off, but at the same time I'm not really digging the toothbrush in because I don't want to rip components off, That's all clean. What I did was I dumped all the water out of the basin. I filled it up with cold water straight from the tap, and I've just sloshed this around in there. I dumped it out, filled it up with more cold water, sloshed this around in there, and now you can see there's no soap on it, but it's obviously covered in liquid. So what I'm going to do is set it on top of a piece of tissue. The idea is that's going to absorb practically everything that's on the bottom. I'm going to grab another piece or two, dry up what's easy to access, and then use this hairdryer to dry the rest. Here we go then, as I said, just using this tissue, drying everything off. Make sure the CPU socket is open if this is a board that has, especially on an AMD board, even on the Intel ones though, you don't want water getting trapped in the socket. And obviously you don't want to leave the board wet for any longer than you have to, so don't sort of clean it and then leave it on the side and decide to dry it later. You do want to do this in one take. Just, you notice how I'm sort of blotting it? I'm not scraping around with the tissue. Right, so this is an old wall power pick. I picked it up second hand. I think I paid £8 for it. Be aware it's fairly loud, and I'm basically just going to time lapse the process of me drying this thing off. My word, in the real world that took sort of 5 or 6 minutes. Now the ports are actually quite hot to the touch. I ended up putting the hairdryer into the third heat mode, and I was just careful not to hold the heat in one area for ages. I heated the CPU socket up quite a lot. I didn't want there to be any liquid stuck in here. I've scrutinised the entire board thoroughly. I can't see or feel any water at all. Funnily enough, I almost forgot to reinstall the chipset cooler. So you'll notice it's missing a bit out of the corner. So I'm going to make sure that corner is the one that's facing here. What you got to do, line it up on the top and just pop the pins in. So pop, there's your first one. Pop, there's your second one. There we go, check it out. And look at that. They were working on Christmas Day in 2023 building BIOSes. That's a little bit sad, to be honest, you know. The text is tiny, but the computer's working well enough to tell me what processor it has. That all looks fine to me. The fan is obviously running really slowly because it's not overheating or anything like that. If I do LSBLK, it should be able to tell me that we have an NVMe SSD, which we do, so the SSD is detected. I can do LS PCI, I believe, and that'll tell me all the PCIe devices. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I won't sit and read through all of that, but the chipset is at least being detected, but obviously, of course it is. If the chipset wasn't being detected, it wouldn't be booting. But I've got every confidence that this thing's working fine, to be honest. I only have a keyboard plugged in, so I can't do too many checks. What I am going to do off camera is run memtest86 and just give the computer a proper test like that. Well, if the gigantic text there didn't clue you in, this thing has passed. So very happy with that. I'm going to turn around and say the board is working as expected, and I'm pretty much going to wrap the video up there. Just want to thank you all for watching. If you found the thing useful, then feel free to leave a like. If you found it really useful or you'd like to see more about what I'm doing here, then feel free to check out the channel. Even better if you hit subscribe. That sort of thing helps me out greatly. A lot of the videos are a bit more involved, a bit more in depth than this. I do long form content. I'm not one of these who churns out loads of short videos for engagement and whatnot. I like to put out stuff that I think is useful to people, which usually happens to take the form of a 30-minute video. But anyway, that's all I've got for you today. So until next time, I'll see you later. Take care for now, and goodbye.